Imagine for a moment that you're a judge, and three people show up in your courtroom. The first is Joan, and she's arrested for killing her husband. The second is Ron, and he's arrested for killing his uncle. And the third is Shonda, and she's arrested for selling meth. Now, it seems pretty clear what your job is, right? Justice, jail time, lock them up so they can't hurt anyone else or do any more damage to society. But here's the deal. That is exactly not justice. You see, Joan killed her husband because he'd been beating her for years. And the moment she pulled the trigger, she was afraid for her life. And Ron, same thing with Ron, he had suffered decades of abuse at the hands of his uncle, even as a kid. And Shonda? Well, Shonda's no drug kingpin. She was an 18-year-old kid selling enough meth just to support her habit. Our criminal justice system is not built to deliver justice. It's built to deliver punishment. And when the moment someone is arrested, they are put on a bullet train to deliver them straight to a conviction and not to uncover the truth. And with that conviction comes a criminal record, one of the most devastating barriers to finding a job or a home or any hope of a second chance. I'm Doug, and I'm the executive director of the Georgia Justice Project. In our work, we demonstrate a better way to support people going through the criminal justice system and embrace them once they leave it. You see, here in Georgia, we have the highest rate of correctional control in the entire country. That means that 1 in 18 Georgians are in jail or prison or on probation or parole. And that punishment is perpetual. Why? Because all of those folks have a criminal record. Do you want to know how many working-age adults in Georgia have a criminal record? Nearly half. That's right. So let me make this really clear. We have a criminal justice system that on one end is pushing people into it, and on the other end makes it nearly impossible to exit. Now, as you can imagine, trying to move our society to a different place, a better place, it's complicated. So that's why we work on lots of levels to change that, from policy change to community education to coalition building. But first and foremost, our work is focused on serving individual clients. We bring together lawyers and social workers and leverage the expertise of each. So what does that look like? Well, for Ron, it looked like a big red binder full of facts, like the fact that his uncle had been arrested 63 times, most of which for harming his own family. Or the fact that when Ron pulled the trigger, he put the gun down and called the police immediately himself. Now, when we showed up at the DA's office with that big red binder, it was like a big red stoplight to the prosecutor, and it caused her to stop and it challenged her assumptions and stop the push for punishment. It made justice happen. And for Joan, our work looks like a bright blue medical scrubs, like the ones I saw her in the other day when she stopped by the office. You see, we weren't around to prevent Joan from going to prison for killing her abuser. But we were going to make darn sure that that punishment didn't follow her the rest of her life. So our legal team aggressively intervened and got her record expunged. And that meant that Joan could finally qualify for the job she'd always dreamed of. You see, when Joan came to the office the other day, she was wearing those scrubs and she was so proud to point out the emblem of where she worked. You see, Joan has her dream job. She's a dental hygienist today. And for Shonda, well, for Shonda, our work meant treatment for meth and not jail for it. With Shonda, as with so many of our clients, our work is to get judges and prosecutors to see their role differently, to see our clients differently, to think three-dimensionally instead of one-dimensional. Who is Shonda? How did she get here? What caused her to do what she did? Instead of enabling a judge to issue another rote sentence, we empowered them to see the whole person, the whole situation. We empower them to dispense healing and a better future. We empower them to dispense justice. Every year, we represent over 500 people who have a criminal record, helping them get that expunged or corrected. We defend 100 people who are accused of crime and people we believe aren't getting a fair shake. And of those people, our clients are 10 times less likely to be convicted than the national average. And we also changed laws, one of which resulted in 1.8 million Georgians having something fall off their criminal record immediately. For 30 years, the Georgia Justice Project has seen justice as just that, a project. It's a work in progress. It's never finished, and it's ever evolving. But it is worth nurturing, it is worth believing in, and it's worth fighting for. Always. Join us.